On today's video, we are going to be making some art with kids' art supplies. Let's go. Now, near me, there is a Poundland, which I think is like the Dollar Tree type equivalent, but there's also a store called Wilko's or Wilkinson's, which sells a variety of things. And I was in there the other day, and I saw this sort of set. It's called the Let's Create set. Clearly, this Let's Create line is all about getting kids into art, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm just going to go through what I bought, what it cost, and then I'm going to choose which art supply I'm going to use for this video. First things first, let's get this one out of the way because it's technically different. So this is a Bic Kids Oil Pastels. I saw it on the way out, to be honest, because this is the set I originally got, and then I saw this little package and I thought it was quite nice, and I don't have any oil pastels. Most of these supplies I have in some variation of like artist grade, but I don't have oil pastel. We'll put those aside for now. First thing I'm going to talk about is these, because they look great. No idea what I'm going to do with them, but I just couldn't leave them. So I saw these ones first, and I think the idea is that as you draw, different colours come out. I'm really excited to use these because I think it's just going to be so much fun to be drawing and then like a different colour effectively comes out. So I can't wait to use those. And then as I saw those, I also saw this huge pencil, which this is like, it's a large pencil. So I know this is in the kids section, but I'm not sure how a kid would hold this, maybe with two hands. I'm going to put these to the side for now, and we will use them in a different video because I think I have an idea for them. Right, down to our last few things. I'm going to talk about these first. So these are soft pastels or pastels, depending on how you want to say it. To be honest, pastels are pastels at the end of the day. I will say, out of the art supplies I've bought, these are the ones I'm not really looking forward to because I don't really like touching the pastels. I may have a solution for that where I don't have to actually touch the chalky pastel-y outside of them. I may do these and the oil pastels in the same video so I can compare them, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to put these away. We are down to the subject for this video, the watercolour. It's not a set, but I've made it a set. First off, we have these watercolour, they're just called paints. I would call it like a palette. It kind of looks like an eyeshadow palette. There you go, watercolour paint discs. That's what they're called. Now, I've seen these before, and I believe I must have used one when I was younger, but I do remember the paintbrush in them is always really terrible. I'm going to try it out, but I remember being very frustrated as a child when I'd try and do something and this brush wasn't working with me. Because I'm not sure of that brush, I saw these and I couldn't leave them. This is really cool. So there is like a mini colour wheel, and it's explaining to kids how you mix the colours. This would have been so useful when I was younger. I had no idea how to mix colours. I just added black to everything if I needed it to be dark, or white to anything if it needed to be white. So I can't wait to use these because they're so colourful and they look really fun. No watercolour video would be complete without watercolour paper. So this is 24 sheets of 180 GSM. Now, I'm interested to get into this because it kind of looks like a watercolour block, but I don't think it is. I think it's just like a set of paper with a cover on it. So I have my receipt here. In total, I spent £15.75, which for what I've got is very cheap. If you got the artist's version equivalent, you might still only spend that on one item. The multicoloured chunky pencil things, they were £2. The giant one was also £2. These little brushes, those were only £1. Soft pastels, £3. The pad, £2.75. For 24 sheets, that's really good. Paints were £2. Oh, I got an extra thing. We'll go over that in a different video. I got 8 things, 7 and a mystery item, and I got a deal on the pastels and I spent £15.75. Definitely affordable if you've got a kid who's wanting to get into art. Let's crack into these art supplies. Now, if there's ever any kids watching this, get a parent to help you open this. Don't do what I'm doing. Make sure you get help, okay? Here we have our opened art supplies. I'm going to go get some water and then we'll get right into it. We've got our water, and I always like to put water in a separate dish. This is for adding water to the palette, not for washing my brushes. I know this is technically cheating, but at the end of the day, a pencil's a pencil. I've obviously got rubber, and I can't decide if I'm going to do like a proper watercolour piece or I'm going to do it in my style, but I've got a Micron pen which is fairly good. It doesn't seem to run with watercolours, so that's great. So I'm just going to put these to the side for now. Let's open up our pad, shall we? It's fairly thick actually. It's got a very nice texture. Right, let's look at these paints and see what we're working with. There's a good range of colours. I'm a bit confused as to why they're not in like a gradient, like in an actual colour order, but maybe that's just to grab kids' attention. Oh, okay. Got a little protector. Don't need that. Yeah, so as I thought, this is one of those like really naff brushes. Yeah, see, these ones they're just completely different. This is just the free brush though, but that's my problem. If you got this and this for your kid, and then this is what they got. I was disappointed as a kid when I got a pack like this and I got one of these brushes. That's quite good. There's indents here, which I guess is to match there, but I'm actually going to use that as like a mixing palette. Ooh, they're weird. They kind of feel chalky. Do these come out? I think they're stuck in. It would be good if they could be taken out and rearranged, because this not being in colour order is really bugging me. Like, I've got 5 greens, 3 yellows, 2 oranges, 2 blues, 3 purples, 2 pinks, and I guess that's grey. Grey, black, brown, white. So I've got probably all the colours I'll need, but the fact that they're in colour order is really bothering me. So let's get started. We'll use this brush to start off with because it's what came with this pack, and then we'll move on to the fun brushes. I think I'll swatch them all. Let's go ahead. Let's start with the lightest colour. Ooh. Oh wow. Ooh, very swatched all the colours apart from the white, and I will say I'm actually quite impressed with the quality of the colour. It's very pigmented. I don't understand the need for all the greens, especially like these two here. They look basically the same. Like, I'm looking at these and I don't actually remember where those two came from. The purples are really nice. This is more of a blue. This one over here, I thought it was purple, but I should have really put it down here. So these two are those two. They look basically the same, even though they're different. I gave up trying to get water out onto the pans with this. so I ended up resorting to my pipette, and this worked so much better. I just took a bunch of water and dripped it on all of them and then went through them, and that worked way better. The brush, it's not great for painting obviously because it's like that stiff type brush, but I will say it's not bad at the actual like activating the paint, because you don't want to like ruin any brushes doing that, so it's good for that reason, but other than that I wouldn't bother with it. Now I've swatched them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and try each of these out. These are great little brushes, especially for little hands because they're small, and I love the colours of them, and £1 for those, that's like so good. So if you do have a kid who's getting into art, or you would think they would enjoy it, get those from Wilko's, they're really good. I'm going to go ahead and sketch a drawing, and then when we come back I'll get into the painting. I decided to go for a cutesy, colourful piece, so I'm going to do like a few different watercolour techniques within the piece. So for the large area, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to wet it first and then go in with the colour. When you are doing wet on wet, which is what this is called, you are able to get like a paler colour because there's water already absorbed into the paper, and this means that the water that you're bringing in with your paint doesn't just absorb straight in, so you're able to like move it around and play with it. For the main mushroomy bit, I think what I'll do, so for this I want to do like a creamy colour which doesn't really exist, so I think I'm going to use some of the apricot, the white, and then the yellowy colour. So what I like to do sometimes is I'll put water in multiple things and I'll just drag like a small amount of the colour across. So that's very pale, I want it bit more pigmented than that. Yeah, I think that'll do. I'm going to go on dry for this bit, so this is wet on dry. This should absorb fairly quickly. I will say it's quite nice, the texture of the paper. I can definitely feel it while I'm using the brush. I think I'm going to do the snails, test a few more of these colours. So this grass will be quite nice and green. So let's go for sort of purpley snails. Oh, I did miss a pink. I didn't swatch this pink earlier. I thought I had done. Oh yeah, I missed it. Huh. Can have 2 pink snails. Oh, that's a very nice pink. It's very Barbie pink, actually. Very cute. And then their shells. I could do them in the bright yellow. That would be quite cool. I'm trying to purposely paint the way a child would. Not in my technique, but more in the colours. Kids don't generally do things, realistic colours, or colours that even necessarily go together. They sort of just do whatever they want. What we'll do when this is dried is we'll add like another colour over the top in the little swirl. Let's not forget the heart. Just touch it in. There we go. That'll do. Very cute. Cute little snails. Wonder if anything's gone through. No, very good. It's very thick paper. It's very nice actually. I'm surprised I got it for less than £3. So I was originally going to use like a purple for the shading, but as I've done the snails purple, it'll look a little unusual. What I'll do actually, I think I'm going to go back in with the apricot colour, just pigment it up a bit more down here. I'm so impressed with these brushes. I did not expect them to be this nice. Let's just add a nice orange to the shells. Lovely. Lovely little snails. Let's do the grass. I'm going to try and use all the shades of green we have. Let's do red flowers. I'm going to use black for the windows just because it's the easiest way to show that they're actually windows and not just little squares. I think we're going to do the door and the little flower in blue. And the door I'm going to do in like a nice solid blue, and then the flower can be in turquoisey. What colour shall we do the post box? Let's do it in like pinky colours because that's kind of their colours. not really happy with their shells. I think it's because it's too bright. I'll tell you what I could do actually. If I get it nice and wet, I'll be able to pull a fair amount of it off. That's better. It's not as punchy as it was before. I think I'll do a similar thing to the actual snails themselves. That's the great thing about watercolour. You are able to just change it if you want to, if you don't like something or the way it's come out. And you can come back to it, you know, months later. The hardest thing is to learn when to just leave it and walk away. That's better, so the snails aren't as bright as they were. I'm just gonna give the piece a little bit of definition. And here's the final piece. I'm actually so happy with the way it turned out. I did not expect it to be like this. I envisioned it would be really thin, really not very pigmented at all, because that's what I remember from this kind of when I was a kid. But it actually turned out really well. These brushes specifically are a favourite. They're really good. For £1 to get some cute little colourful brushes, that's amazing value. Collectively, you've what, just under £6? That's like so good. I would definitely recommend this to anyone who's wanting to try out art or have little kids that want to paint with you and maybe you don't want to let them use your expensive art supplies. The paper specifically, I was not expecting this nice paper. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. There will be more videos coming up trying out kids/cheap art supplies, so look out for them. If you liked it, leave me a comment. If you really liked it, please subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye!